Lively isn't the only person who this harms. Once you dehumanize one woman, you dehumanize them all, and that impact is far greater than any celebrity legal battle. That is just someone talking a whole bunch of all the live long day, and that is my opinion, okay?
Bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You guys love wearing those kind of clothes. Like,
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone wants to
digital,
talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful. That's
how
what I'm saying. His wardrobe is
Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe.
I know,
Gorgeous.
he's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I would wish men
And
wore
soft.
Corey.
Yeah, amazing.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA, and New York has just a steam.
My name is Jennifer. I'm so happy to have you here. So it's been a while since I've talked about the Blake Lively Ryan Reynolds debacle. Poor Justin Baldoni. I bet he rues the day that he ever got involved with those two individuals. But it seems like every single week, practically every single day, there is a new development. And this past week, in this never-ending saga, both Blake and Ryan have filed motions to try to get the entire lawsuit dismissed, which seems to a lot of people, particularly Rich, given the fact that she started this whole thing. I'm looking at an article from Yahoo Entertainment, and it's basically saying that she filed to dismiss Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. And the move comes 2 days after her husband, Ryan Reynolds, asked the court to do the same. And in this motion to dismiss, her legal team is basically citing this California law. And what it is, it's that a law that went onto the books after the Me Too movement. And what it does is it protects individuals from retaliatory lawsuits if they report allegations of sexual harassment or misconduct. Basically, Ryan and Blake are trying to tell the courts that, hey, I filed this complaint in the state of California about what happened to me on the set of It Ends With Us. I was SA'd by Justin, and because of this, Justin is filing a malicious, wrong, retaliatory lawsuit against me. So she's basically citing this California law, saying that this is exactly what Justin is doing. A lot of people are basically firing back and saying he's not being malicious in the slightest. I mean, you basically dragged this man's name through the mud. She could have done that initial California complaint. She could have done it privately. She didn't have to introduce it to the public the way that she did. Not only did she file that claim, but she also unveiled this explosive New York Times piece about him that went into great depth about apparently allegedly what Justin did to her. And they released all types of text messages and different things. Come to find out, after Justin finds out about all this and releases his version, his receipts, all of his text messages, and you look at both sides, it became very, very clear that everything that Blake had released in that New York Times article was very carefully curated and made to make her look very good. There were several things, or I should say more than several, texts and different things that were all edited to make her and Ryan look like the innocent parties. And then when Justin fired back, he not only laid all his cards out on the table, he had the receipts. He showed all of the holes and inconsistencies in Blake's claims. And then after that, went ahead and sued them for this smear campaign. They're trying to destroy this man. So that's the latest in this case, is that Blake and Ryan are trying to get everything dismissed based on this California law. So basically, Blake and Ryan's lawyers have said in a statement that this lawsuit is a profound abuse of the legal process and it has no place in federal court. California law now expressly prohibits suing victims who make the decision to speak out against sexual harassment or retaliation, whether in a lawsuit or in the press. And that's what her attorneys, Matt Golub and Ezra Hudson, are saying. So basically, her lawyers are trying to say that it's a painful reality that the actress is not alone in being sued for defamation after speaking up about being sexually SA'd at work. My favorite is Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman. This guy is he pulls no punches. So he basically fired back and said, quote, Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. He also said stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves. It's true, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda. So I was watching a lot of commentary about this over the last couple of days, and there was an attorney who was talking about it, and he was basically saying that federal judges are not dummies. When you get to the level of a federal judge, you don't mince words, you don't play around, and of course a federal judge is going to know about this California law. They want to basically see through all the nonsense, and they're going to see things for what they are on both sides. They're going to see the evidence and the claims and the allegations that Blake has, and they're going to hold it up against what Justin has countered with, all of the holes that he is filling, all the gaps that he's filling, and all of the inconsistencies in Blake's arguments that he's bringing to light. For example, when she was talking about breastfeeding her child and saying that he barged in on her, and that was one of the things that made her feel that she was SA'd and made her feel that she was so uncomfortable, whereas Justin just produced information that was saying, and in texts from her saying, yes, I'm fine, come to my trailer, I'm breastfeeding if that's okay. So it's like there's so many inconsistencies and just dumb things like that a federal judge is going to look at. And who do you think he's going to side with? Do you think he's going to side with someone like Blake, who's basically trying to get out of it now? Or do you think he's going to look at this and say, this doesn't add up? Everything she's presenting, that is not how it happened, when they can see in black and white the sequence of events. And also what shows that something is just retaliatory and malicious and just an attempt to silence somebody who is alleging and filing claims of SA, that Justin's case and the way that he's responded to everything that she's done does not fit that criteria. To so many people, it just seems like a lame attempt at the 11th hour to try to get out of a situation that they created. And there's so many things about this case that have been unfolding for the public in such a way that we can see both sides very clearly. We can see the sequence of events. We can see what her side and what she's alleging. And then we can also see Justin coming back and saying, well, no, hang on a minute, this, and this. And it's been like that the entire time. So the public is not stupid. We are not dumb. We're not being force-fed puff pieces from PR machines and taking it as gospel like we would 25 years ago. With the rise of social media and all these wonderful amateur journalists and all of these podcasts and all this independent media, which is very fair and balanced compared to a lot of the mainstream media, we're able to see for ourselves the two different sides that are unfolding, and we are seeing who's got the receipts, who is actually building a case built on something other than sand. So the public is not stupid. We are seeing this drama unfold on both sides and seeing it for what it is. And there was an article that I found out about that I'm going to read with you guys from Glamour Magazine, and it is from the writer Stephanie McNeil. And the article is called Inside the Blake Lively Hate Campaign, Fueled by, quote, Mommy Sleuths, unquote. And it's on the Glamour Magazine website. Now, I grew up with Glamour Magazine. Glamour Magazine used to be on the newsstands. It's not on the newsstands anymore because Glamour Magazine cannot sell magazines on newsstands anymore. It is turned into an entirely online publication. And I found, as a person with a YouTube channel, a heart, a brain, a soul, and an opinion, I found this article to be particularly infuriating, and I wanted to read it to you and give you my commentary on it, and let me know what you guys think. But it starts off by saying, the death of Me Too and embrace of patriarchal ideals isn't coming from politics. It's coming from women online. So this article is talking about people like me, women like me who have opinions and platforms, whether it's a small YouTube channel or a podcast or a blog or whatever. So here we go. Last weekend, Blake Lively appeared at SXSW. I don't know what that is. Southwest. I don't care what it is. She appeared to premiere her new film, Another Simple Favor. It wasn't a particularly noteworthy event. Lively walked the red carpet, took photos with fans, attended the screening, and participated in a Q&A. The event marked the first press event Lively had done since December, when she filed a legal complaint and eventually a lawsuit against her former co-star Justin Baldoni, alleging he had essayed her on the set of their film It Ends With Us. Lively also alleged that, faced with the possibility of his career being impacted by her claims, Baldoni and a crisis PR team he hired waged a misogynistic smear campaign against Lively using the power of the internet. Baldoni soon countersued, and the pair kicked off an exhausting and protracted war against each other. Despite the drama surrounding the case, Lively's appearance at the festival ultimately was pretty standard stuff. That is, unless you have been obsessively watching videos from the bevy of mostly women content creators who have declared themselves experts in the 37-year-old star's legal battle. Then, if you are, then Lively's appearance in Austin was rife with hidden meeting, clues, and intrigue. Okay, well, first of all, I have never claimed myself to be an expert in this case, and I don't think the majority of content creators that I watch, men and women, because they're making it seem like it's just women here. So I don't think that the men or women that are content creators online commenting on this claim to be experts. Most of them are giving their opinions and are stating that this is their opinions based on the evidence and the articles and the research that they themselves have done. A lot of the content creators I have watched have interviews with lawyers and people that actually have expertise on this type of law, these types of situations, giving their opinions. So it all seems to be very well researched and reasoned. So right off the bat, she's trying to portray people who are out there who are giving their opinions on things, mind you, that Blake herself started and threw out in the public domain, right? As if it's not allowed for us to have an opinion on anything. But I digress. So yeah, I have never claimed to be an expert, nor have the majority, if not all of the people I have watched give commentary on this. I would say that so many people nowadays are just sick of all of these celebrities parading around and giving us their political opinions as they're above everything. When people can't buy eggs, people can't pay their mortgages, people can't afford day-to-day living. These people do seem out of touch, and it is okay for us to say that, they seem out of touch. I mean, I just don't understand why you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're just supposed to give blind worship, I guess. This is annoying, whatever. And those smiling fans that Lively took photos with before the screening, fake, say the experts hired by the actress herself. In fact, one fan seen taking photos with Lively, they claim, is actually the wife of the film's director, Paul Feig. Pathetic, one person on Twitter sneered. In actuality, they say, the carpet was not filled with fans, but protesters holding signs outside the theater in support of Baldoni. According to one, Lively was terrified to walk the carpet at all, and her co-star, Anna Kendrick, hates her. This specific claim was debunked by Feig, but it didn't really seem to matter.
We need to be working with Blake again. Oh, talking about you all day.
Well, it's really funny because saying that these people claimed that woman was the wife of the director. We didn't claim it. The people that were saying that was the director's wife, they're not claiming it. It was the director's wife. She was seen standing behind a barricade posing over the railing with Blake. That's why people were pointing it out, because it just seemed ridiculous. Okay. And she goes on to say in this article, Miss Stephanie, but the controversy, theories, rumors, and criticism tied to Lively at the Another Simple Favor premiere pale in comparison to the theories that this group of obsessives have been circulating wildly online since Lively's legal battle against Baldoni began. While some men are jumping on board, the most popular of these creators, which range from nobodies doing voiceovers to, I guess I'm a nobody, to fair-right provocateurs like Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly, are women speaking to other women. Owens even coined a term for her audience who spend their free time investigating Lively's alleged bad behavior via TikTok in order to ruin her reputation. Mommy sleuths. Here's just a few examples. Lively has been accused of lying about her relationship with her deceased Gossip Girl co-star Michelle Trachtenberg to get sympathy for her legal case, and horrifying the cast and crew of Gossip Girl by constantly burping and farting on set. They say she's a narcissist, has profound mental health issues, and is a liar. And it's only these citizen detectives who are brave enough to report the truth. Well, let's see. We've had interviews that came out starting last summer that actually show her being extremely combative to interviewers. What is her name? Kristen Flaus. I think she's from Norway. She's a blonde reporter. We have a video of her being nasty to reporters.
Bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
They are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you, thank you.
Are
You like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone wants to
digital.
talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He's
suits
so
and
beautiful. That's
how
what I'm saying. His wardrobe was
Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe.
I know,
Gorgeous.
he's
Those
so
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I would wish men
and
wore
sorry
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like that
know.
still.
Or
too.
their father with his tank top and hood.
So
Just
good.
like, it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You can feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the white in the Italian restaurant? You made spaghetti
Didn't notice
and
that.
that. There's so
Sorry,
much
really?
warmth in everything. you know?
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I mean, I feel like we're
Victoria-
looking at the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
Yes, it was amazing to look at. And then to
These
see
white
it.
suits.
Yes.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream colors, and all the men are wearing like white and cream. And then you get to New York, and it's a little bit more browns and moodier. And Susie really told
Such a story.
Yeah, amazing.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA, and New York has just this steamy.
So can we talk about this term mommy sleuth? And Candace coined this term, and she did it in a funny tongue-in-cheek way. And Candace used this term almost as if to say it's a badge of honor. And I kind of do take it as a badge of honor to be called a mommy sleuth. And this writer in particular, she's trying to use it in a negative way, in a derogatory way, as if to say that just because we don't have an official job in media, that we don't have ears, we don't have eyes, we can't discern for ourselves truth from falsehood, and how dare we actually speak about what we feel to be an injustice. Apparently, you cannot give opinions, but it seemed that it was entirely fair for Blake Lively to release this huge article in the New York Times after she officially filed that claim in California against him. It's okay for her to present everything her way and to present her text messages and her evidence and to call him this horrible, rotten, evil person. And yet when he comes out to defend himself, and when the public see what's going on and the scales are kind of really unbalanced here and they seem to be in favor of Justin, it really seems like she didn't like that. And that is when she completely turns on everyone as if to say, how dare you, it's all against me. No, it's all about people who actually just have brains and they have opinions and they figured it out. So the author of the article, Stephanie McNeil, she starts going in a little bit about the history of the Me Too movement. And she says, I'm just going to say it, this isn't normal. And it's about more than just Blake Lively. Since Me Too exploded into public consciousness in 2018, an online war has succeeded in erasing many of the gains made by the movement. I did a video about the Me Too movement and how it is the dragon that I thought was ultimately going to swallow up Justin. He was a self-proclaimed male feminist, and it seemed like he was all for it, all for believing women. Every woman must be believed. It was actually pretty scary because that's when you get into territory where you're not looking at individuals, you're not looking at the individual case or the specifics of each situation. You're just believing anybody just because they allege something. And that's what I think was was getting a lot of people fired up and getting a lot of people on Justin's side is because he did have the receipts to back up everything that he was saying. And when that happens, you start to realize how dangerous a narrative it can be. And I think that men and women alike, just regular, normal, everyday people, are just fed up with all this garbage. So she goes on to say, those against Me Too can't stop famous women from speaking out against SA, abuse, or harassment. They can apparently slowly erode their credibility until they are pariahs, the target of such an unrelenting campaign of hate and misogyny that their public image is incurably damaged. The hardest part of this to swallow is that women, mostly civilians, are the ones falling deepest down this rabbit hole, being convinced by TikTok to turn on one of their own. Well, first of all, Blake and Ryan are civilians too. Okay, we're all civilians. We're all people. They are not better than us. And if anything, they are in the public domain and we hold them to a higher standard. We expect them to have a strong moral code and to tell the truth in a public forum. And especially when that person can counter back with evidence that is contrary to their allegations. I mean, come on. And then to try to vilify people like myself, like these content creators out here who are basically saying, no, like we see this for what it is, and everything we're seeing up to this point points that Justin is telling the truth in this whole scenario. And she says, Me Too was an attempt to change the narrative, to believe women when they say that they have been victimized by men without caveat. It was an effort to shed the idea of a perfect victim, to accept that a woman can be SA'd or physically assaulted no matter how powerful she may be. But less than a decade later, it's never been more dangerous to accuse a high-profile man of abuse. I completely disagree with that. I completely disagree with these narratives that it's so hard to stand up. It's never been easier for people that feel that they are part of any marginalized group to stand up and say that they've been victimized or to say that they have been SA'd or abused or harassed or whatever. There's never been a time that is more accepting of someone who has a grievance. Who is shutting a woman down? I mean, Blake is a woman who is extremely successful. She didn't have doors slammed in her face because she was a woman. She's a multi-millionaire. She's got side hustle companies that she's created for hair care brands and alcohol brands and all this kind of stuff. No one is slamming a door in Blake Lively's face because she's a woman. They completely run to this victim narrative when the public turns on them, when the public sees them for who they are. It's so obvious. Amber Heard, whose case had often been compared to Lively's, faced such unrelenting online torment when she battled her ex-husband Johnny Depp in court over assault that she left the country. Okay, does this author have any familiarity with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case? Does she have any familiarity at all with the fact that Amber Heard lied repeatedly on the stand? And this author is conveniently leaving out that Johnny Depp's lawyer that fought hard for him in court, Camille, I forget her last name, her first name was Camille, very, very strong woman, fought for Johnny, called Amber out on her lies and her inconsistencies and all the holes in all of her stories and her timelines. A woman took down Amber Heard in court, okay? A very strong woman who saw the evidence, who saw that she lied and that Johnny was innocent, that Johnny was the victim, that Johnny had been abused, not Amber. Johnny won that civil case, and he won it because he had a powerful woman in his corner who took the truth and championed it and got Johnny justice. So it's very convenient how these writers, these people just twist things to make people that are just in search of truth and have common sense, we're the villains. Like, come on. So she goes on to talk about a specific mommy blogger that she tries to vilify, who's named Jessica Reed Krause. I don't know who she is, but she says, take Jessica Reed Krause, the former mommy blogger known as House in Habit Online. Krause began posting pop culture blind items and tea about Armie Hammer and eventually about Depp versus Heard, becoming one of the most prominent citizen journalists covering the case. She's since parlayed that viral fame into a new life as a far-right provocateur. Well, you know what? Guess what? Jessica Reed Krause is entirely within her rights to support who she supports and to say what she says. Just like how Stephanie McNeil can write her articles. Like, we are all out here saying what we think, what we believe, based on what we've read, what we've researched, what we've seen. That's okay. You don't have to call us traitors to women. And then she talks about, this is the same world where a woman, even a powerful actress, faces the complete destruction of her reputation by online mommy sleuths for daring to accuse a man of SA. Lively isn't the only person who this harms. Once you dehumanize one woman, you dehumanize them all, and that impact is far greater than any celebrity legal battle. That is a lot of... That is just someone talking a whole bunch of all the live long day, and that is my opinion, okay?
So Glamour Magazine ran yet another hit piece on content creators. And it's by this woman named Stephanie McNeil. And Steph's argument is basically that women are coming against women in order to take out Me Too. And after a number of content creators, myself included, because obviously I'm not a woman, she got a lot of heat in her comments, and now she's responding to it. And she's like, hold up, wait a minute, guys. Like, I have a fixed salary. Like, these content creators have an incentive to make money. I have a fixed salary.
They are the ones profiting off of the Blake Lively drama.
She actually says that we make more money than she does. And whether that's true or not, I don't know what her salary is.
I make what my salary is, whether, 10 people read my story or 10 million read my story.
But it so blatantly misses the point. Because now they're trying to come for the mommy sleuths, right? If you're, a mom and you're criticizing Blake Lively, you're a mommy sleuth. And if you're a guy that's criticizing Blake Lively, then you're misogynist. It's triggering your insecurities, right? Because let me guess, you went to school, you got a good degree, you worked for a major publication, and so the public is supposed to take you seriously, right? You got a degree, you racked up all your student loan debt. You're at an established company, you're at Glamour.
Nobody is out here trying to dehumanize Blake Lively. Most reasoned critics of Blake and Ryan are not trying to dehumanize them. What they are trying to do is bring to light the fact that just because they are rich, just because they are good looking, just because they are talented, doesn't give them the right to make claims against someone and then get angry when that person that they make those claims against counters back to try to clear his name. Make no mistake about it. He is a husband. He is a father. He is just trying to work and make a living for himself in Hollywood. He has a lot less money and a lot less influence than those two do. They had a lot of high-powered dragons in their corner that they were not afraid to call upon and try to intimidate him with. So we are not out here trying to dehumanize anybody. What we're actually trying to do is make people like Ryan and Blake more human, trying to get them to realize that, hey, why don't you start acting like good humans? Why don't you try acting like good moral humans? Justin Baldoni seems like such a decent human being that I'm sure if Blake actually woke up one morning and was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I've taken this too far. Maybe I should just admit that there's just so many things that are not matching up compared to the pile of evidence that Justin has. I should just come out and say that this has gone too far. Maybe I exaggerated some things. I do apologize. Let's just clear this all up. I'm going to clear his name. I bet you that he would probably be like, okay, that's fine. But they're not doing that. They are not proving that they are good humans. They're trying to dehumanize us by having an opinion. Again, a brain, eyes, a heart, a soul, being able to see right versus wrong. They're trying to vilify and make it seem like because we are mommies with a camera and a platform, that what we say doesn't mean anything, that what we say doesn't matter or count like the way that Blake's article did in the New York Times. And that is a bunch of hogwash. So many people are moving away from this garbage. We don't want this garbage. I don't know why it's so important that you have to feel you have to try to attempt to take over an entire production and bring a man to his knees. So many of us can see through this garbage, and I know it seems like I'm a little riled up about this article. I kind of am, but in a way, it just goes to show how mainstream media, they're just so out of touch and they don't get it. And they are so angry that we are out here just talking common sense. It just annoys them to no end. And I don't wish ill will on Ryan and Blake. Let me be the first to say that if you haven't heard that already. People out here that are criticizing them are not horrible, rotten, evil people that are wishing them harm in any way, shape, or form. What we want them to do, again, is to become better people, to become moral people, to stand up and in the face of all this overwhelming evidence, to just come out and stop this already. And we're not going to be put down and called traitors to all women. I'm not into tribalism. I look at people the way that Christ wants me to look at people, as an individual with a soul and a heart, and I have to look at every situation and every individual as it comes up and weigh evidence and truth, look at it that way. So I know this was a little bit of a rant, but I saw this one and it got me a little fired up, I gotta say. So I guess I'm a mommy sleuth, and I guess I'm really proud to be one. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see the further developments in this case. I have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen. I guess it all starts going down in 2026. We're gonna see who's gonna be deposed. We're gonna see who's gonna be called to be witnesses. I think this is gonna be probably the biggest celebrity legal case that we have seen in decades, or probably ever. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how it all unfolds. What do you guys think about all of the latest developments in this case? What do you think of how Blake and Ryan are trying to get the whole lawsuit dismissed? What do you think of this article that I read in Glamour Magazine online? I can't wait to read your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I am growing my small channel little by little, and I can't do it without the support of wonderful people like yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you so much for supporting me. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.